Welcome into day 5, everybody. Hope you're feeling good. Less people here right at the start, so let's see if people drop in. Oh, you're looking mighty fancy today, Linz. Are you feeling better, Lindsay? Hope you're feeling better. Hey, she's champagne today or bubbly, whatever you got. Nice, nice. Balloons. There we go, Miriam. It's cute. All right, I'm just gonna take just 1 second if you don't mind and make sure I'm focused on letting everybody in before we get started. I'm super excited to share with you today. This is just like all heart today. You guys are gonna love it. Okay. If you don't mind, just give me a few moments. Make sure everybody's in. First of all, while we're just waiting, I want to express, and I'll probably do it again at the end, but my deepest gratitude for being in this space and allowing me to share my heart and soul and my life's work and my mission with you guys. Like I said, there's nothing I want more in the world than to see you guys win and to see you guys expand and do what you're here to do and what you were put on the planet to heal. And I've been in tears more than once over this process. You haven't seen it yet, although when we get into today, you might see tears on this call. I'm not sure. I was like preparing for it earlier and I was like boohooing like a little baby. So I may or may not cry on this call, but I have shed some tears here this week because it's my heart and soul. And so just for even just being present and witnessing this, that's already making my life rich and worthwhile. So yes, lots of love to you guys. Love, love, love. Yes, 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 yes. And even though this is our final day, I hope you consider maybe continuing the journey with me one way, shape, or form. If we host other free events, you're welcome to come. If you are interested in the marketing report and getting that work at least settled, I'll post the links to that again. But I want to just mention like the Rich Intuition Society is my baby. It's my heart and soul, and it's where this stuff happens for a whole year. And so I'm not really a hard salesperson, but I would be obsessed if you guys would consider it. And if it's something that resonates, you'll know. And if that's the case, you let me know and we can do our work together and take this to the next level. And like I said, whether that is your journey or not, I'm just so grateful to have served you this week. And I hope you're inspired one way, shape, or form. And it's just been an honor. So thank you for letting me share everything with you guys. Okay, so can I do something real quick? I was wondering if we could have anybody share or check in. How has this journey been so far? Are you feeling like you've dropped this from head to heart to head to heart a couple times? Like, are we feeling the holistic nature of kind of the journey of these 5 days? Like, what was your biggest takeaways? Tell me how you're feeling right now moving into Legacy Day. I would love to hear from you. And Sonia, don't let me forget what you messaged me about on Voxer. If people could contact you, don't let me forget to mention that later. But let's just do check-ins real quick. I'd love to hear from you. Yeah, Lauren, come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that I knew this was gonna be about business and stuff and jumping into all of this what I kind of expected, but I've been really surprised at how much this has just gotten the inspiration and creativity flowing. I'm just
Ooh,
surrounded by post-it notes of all the things I want to do and change and create, and like in a way it's kind of like opened up my creativity.
yeah.
And then like even yesterday, like I have like a side business with my family. We run an RV park. I had
Oh, cool.
two of my clients like basically pay early, and one of them paid double like ahead of time. And I just thought I was a great manifestation, even if it's not exactly in this business, but that
No,
money totally flowing already.
yeah, and that's a really good point, Lauren, because like when you're, that's why the rich intuition is not just meant to be just money. I don't forsake the money, just as much money as anything else, but
Mhm.
not to downplay it, but also like the richness is in the video that Liliana made. It's in, my healing of my love life coming back around to bite me. It's like, how does this work with our children and with our other things that we do for business, or, how we treat people, or the impact we make in the world that has nothing to do with our business, which is kind of what we're talking about today. It's not directly related to our service, our offers, our clients, or anything, right? So I believe that a true rich life is everything. It's everything. It's your lifestyle of being intuitively led and dropping into gratitude. It's, your RV park, producing money for you, even though you're focused on your business and growing. And it's like, it's just, I think that's the thing. Like the reason I did the society the way I did it is I really wanted to be holistic in this, because it's not just about our business. If it's just about our business, you're going to find, and I have found in the past, that growing one thing without growing the rest of us, it's like it's kind of like dead weight. So by being really holistic and kind of looking at our energies and our frequencies and our beliefs and our limitations and everything for life and business and every aspect, then that's what really rich means to me. It means that the things on your vision board are getting checked off one by one, whatever's there, right? So thank you for sharing that, because manifesting money outside of your products and offers, like that's fine. We'll take that any day, right? From any avenue, right? Because I believe that the universe and spirit and daddy universe, as I've been saying lately, like it's just here to just shower us with. I made this silly TikTok video that was like, uh, the universe is a sugar daddy and we're the trophy wife, just like, like showering us with every opportunity, every gift, every moment to realize how special we are. So yeah, thanks for sharing that, Lauren. I love it. Does anybody else want to share? You can raise your hand or just unmute and I'll find you. Yeah, Linz, go ahead.
I've just I've loved every single day. I've taken away different things
Mhm.
from when you were going through other people's businesses. I didn't put my website or anything up. But when you were roasting everybody else, I got so much from everything that you were saying to everyone else, that I was writing notes, and I really feel like I leveled up,
Yeah,
was able to implement those kind of things into my space. So this has been really, really cool.
cool.
And I really love yeah, feeling rich, feeling
Yes,
abundant. And so yeah, I
good.
had to dress up today because I feel it. So thank
That's
you for
great.
putting us in this space. It's
Yeah,
really
you're welcome. And it's not really about just like, oh, everybody say how great this is. It's not really about that. I mean, I want to celebrate you because each of you have probably had aha moments or these little shifts. And I just want to like celebrate those shifts, because that's where it starts. It starts by having a new idea or a new perspective or a new tool or a new experience, right? That's why this is called the Rich Intuition Experience. It's meant to shift you with like new information or a new perspective, like a new angle, right? So that you can expand. And so that's why I wanted to hear from you guys today. And it's so beautiful that you like did your abundant, projection of yourself today. I mean, we're all loving the bubbly and the cuteness and everything.
I
It's like
got
yes,
it.
it's Lindsay Day, because like you're feeling it and that's great. And like hang on to those post-it notes, guys. Like I know sometimes it's one thing at a time, or if you're in my world, it might be a few things at a time because we work pretty accelerated. But like whatever it is that you gathered, like one of the things that and you know this too, Lindsay, because we've been to events together. But when you're in state, Tony Robbins talks about this. When you're in state, like your highest vibrational aspect, you know, trust what you get and the way you're inspired and the guidance that comes through and the psychic hits when you're in that state. I don't know about you guys, but I've had multiple times where I've received a big download or clarity in a very elevated high state. Have you guys ever experienced this, being in a very elevated high state? And then as soon as I drop out of that state, I start doubting the idea. or doubting like if it's going to work or like if that is the way. Yep. Do you guys get that? Like it's really, but like if there's just one of the other things that I could say about like being intuitively led in life and business, I trust the state. Like I will trump anything that I got in a bad state with something I got in a high vibrational state, either walking on fire with Tony Robbins or jumping up and down or doing an experience like this or whatever. You know what I mean? Like trust what comes in when you're elevating yourself. And so that's why if you do have the post-its, right? You do have the notes, like don't let it drop out, you know? At least start tackling one or two to build some momentum, you know? I'm curious, what's like the one thing you've either already implemented or like that's at the top of your list? I'm curious. Lindsay. I still got you spotlighted.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You're good, you're good.
In the group. The one thing that I implemented, when you were talking to Lauren and talking about the having the big picture of her on her website, for me it was the same thing. I wasn't highlighting myself or giving that face to the brand. And so I've already implemented that.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah,
You've already implemented it?
I have, yeah.
What's your website?
Oh gosh. Okay. The Bright Beam, yeah, the brightbeamcollective.co.
Let's look. Bright
Okay, right on the spot.
Collective. Look, we want to celebrate you.
Thank you.
No, I
Oh,
spelled it
geez.
wrong.
Oh, wait, sorry. Sorry, not the collect, the brightbeam.co.
Yes.
So, yeah, and right now I'm still working on the website, but that's like the header. And yeah, I've already implemented it. So thank you.
Yeah, what great job. I love it. I
Thanks.
love it. Thank you for sharing. Does anybody else want
Yeah.
to jump in before we move on? I mean, this is your time to celebrate your takeaways. Liliana, I see your little celebration. You're welcome to. I really loved your video that you posted in your lipstick and your beautiful what do you call those? They're your little chingy tingy tingy belt. Your little
Oh, it's a coin belt,
yeah,
and
your coin belt.
that I guess since being a belly dancer and stuff, it's just something I have regularly around me, and that's one I usually wear when I want to feel luxurious and feel
Yeah.
wealthy because it has the most like gold and like bell not bells but coins on it, and it has that sound, and so yeah, I
Yeah.
really like it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I love that. And what was something you got out of the week so far from a peak state? Like when you were feeling really, really good, like and you got something that dropped in, like what was your favorite morsel from when you were like what peaked you the most and what came in?
Well, there was a moment when like we did the timelining and then afterwards it was after the fact. I
Yeah.
had to like break down like what this was meaning because it was so mythical the what was coming through. I'm like, and this is something I've had before. I don't think I mentioned that. I had that vision before, and it's like, it's just so mythical. Why am I keep getting this? This is not something I would see really happening in actual real life. And then like it dropped down where it was like, okay, the basics of this is stepping into a platform and there's an audience waiting. And so
Yes.
you're in the internet, on the internet, so maybe you need to find a new internet platform to step onto. So that was like
Yeah.
the ding light bulb moment of like finally understanding what this is and actually breaking it down from less mythical
Yeah.
meaning into something very reality based. And so that
Yeah.
was something a real like high for me. And I think also when we were Wednesday was a really like nerve wracking day because it was business, and that's something that I've seen myself like fall down and fail, and then coming back to face it again was really nerve wracking for me, and then being validated of like okay, this is what I'm feeling. I'm not turned on by this. And then working through the process to really find something that clicks and matches up the piece of the puzzle where I felt validated. And now I'm like, okay, I'm turned on. I know this is something that I really want to pursue. And this is something I can um, bring into a legacy. And this is my
Yeah.
legacy.
And
So,
and
yeah.
and remember, y'all, on day one, I tried to like kind of prime you guys to look at all of this gap as an opportunity, the direction, the ABCs of what to do next, not to get, which can happen so easily, right? Discouragement, like we can get discouraged, we can get like a little frustrated, if being an entrepreneur was really easy, I think a lot more people would do it. But it takes a conviction, a calling a little bit, and an appetite, a definite appetite, so um it does reach those points sometimes where that's the only thing that is going and we feel discouraged. So by putting you guys in a state on day one where we're trying to just say nothing but the facts, let's just get the steps, like how many steps in between where I am and where I want to go. And then we kind of like kept our peak state to sort of continue down the unfolding of all of the things that would come this weekend. And so I just want to commend you because going into Wednesday might have been a little nerve-wracking for a couple of you, right? That can happen sometimes, especially if you really wanted to roast, but you like didn't know what was going to happen and if it was going to be safe or whatever. So it just makes a lot of sense sometimes that there would be this kind of like just feeling where you're like, "Ugh, is it going to drop out?" But I would encourage you to, like Liliana's talking about, get turned on and pay attention to when you're turned on or you're in a peak state or you're highly channeling and what drops in at that moment. I mean, I've got on my schedule this next coming like week or so in my social media to really talk about building your business and your life from the bigger vision, not from the old version of what you've seen, which you guys now have an acute sense of now because you've worked this process with me, right? So whether we're working together or not, I hope we are, because would love to see all of you guys. But like, if you see me on the interwebs talking about this, remember what you got here. Remember when I say to build your business and build your life from the bigger vision. Remember our meditation on day 2. Remember what you got. Remember that thing that we channeled in on Wednesday, Liliana. Remember the gap is only there to grow you. Remember the gap is, like it's just no BS. What's it going to take to grow from here to there, right? It's just math, and science, nothing, about your worth or anything. So, just remember. Yeah. Thank you so much. Love, love, hearts, 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 hearts. Okay, y'all. So I am going to talk about legacy today. And I think I kind of talked about my story a little bit. I'm going to be this July 20 years clean and sober. In my early 20s, I was pretty codependent and I had a lot of anxious attachment and relationships. And I had this longtime boyfriend, my high school sweetheart, and he sort of, I don't know, it's kind of where I signed my worth. And then what happened was we had a breakup after like 7 years, and I was only 20, 21 at the time. And I don't usually like to tell this story, but for some reason it almost came out of my mouth, so I'm just going to say it. He literally left out my front door, and I grabbed his leg and sat on the floor and said, "Please don't go, please don't go, please don't go." So, as a young 21-year-old girl with absolutely no sense of self and all her self-worth wrapped up in this guy, and him leaving, it just rocked me. And I had a friend who was a very good friend and a very good person. And she's also clean and sober today too. Um, but she was trying to help me, and she offered a drug to me for the first time to help numb the pain. And she was able to kind of manage on it. And I instantly, after one time, became 100% not cool about it. I was just addicted right in that moment. And so a girl who's a bit naive, a bit sheltered, didn't know at all the decision she was making. I ended up losing about a couple years there to some really, really intense drug addiction. My parents didn't know where I was. I lost my apartment and everything I owned. I was living at drug dealer's house. I mean, it's a miracle that I never had to do anything that I never not had to, but like I never did anything with my body for drugs. It's amazing that I actually had somebody recently that I reconnect with said, Tana, we were all trying to take care of you. You just happened to fall into a good group of people, even though we were all drug addicts. So I had a lot of protectors. I never got any court cases. And I had about a couple years where I just, and my heart and soul goes out to this cause. And that's why we're talking about this today, right? But like, I had a time that I was so broken that I just couldn't even breathe and be in my body. So I left my body, right? And I had a near-death experience when I had an overdose, obviously, because I wasn't cool about it at all. And I had a near-death experience, and my experience was that it's kind of interesting because I hear some people float up. I was actually floating forwards. I don't know what the significance of that is, but I was floating forwards out of my body. And as I was floating forwards, it was almost like, how when you faint and it gets dark on the vignette and then it kind of like goes like this. So I didn't necessarily see a bright light exactly, but I believe I didn't because I didn't quite go that far. Every time I would float forward and I would start to be in a tunnel and I'm like out of my body. And um experiencing that, which I actually experienced for a couple hours over and over and over, probably more than 20 times. A voice of a woman who indicated she was my great grandmother that I didn't really know or have a relationship with or know very much. She started speaking to me and she said, "You're hearing me now to save your life. And things are going to be different now because now you can hear." And she told me, wiggle my fingers, wiggle my toes. And when I would do such things, I would come back into my body and start, hallucinating or visioning again. But she had this dialogue that she was running the whole time. And she talked to me the whole time. And one of the things she said, I kind of, she would hear my thoughts, right? Because before we understand how telepathy works as psychics or whatever, right? Like you would just think something and it's like you said it. So I kind of had this thought like, who are you even? Like, how do I know if this is real or whatever? And she said, I'm your great grandmother. You didn't really have a relationship with me. I died when you were a baby. And I wasn't really at the point where I could get names. I didn't even know names. I'm not like really close to all my ancestry. Like I never kind of had that experience. Our family culture is not one where like I knew everybody genealogy wise. So I actually didn't know who this was. And so she said something to the effect of, I'm tall with short red hair. Oh yeah, I'm skinny. And I remembered that she said that. And ultimately, that near-death experience, I didn't get clean and sober right away. But because I now was psychic and I had pierced the veil, if you will, I actually got clean and sober somewhat shortly after because I couldn't tell what was real and what wasn't anymore. I was having very psychic experiences, but I was also doing a lot of hallucinating at the time. And I remember the last time I went to do a drug, I was having all these hallucinations and somehow I thought more drugs would be the answer. So I went to go pick up more drugs and I heard this voice, like an angelic, stern male voice, maybe like an Archangel Michael energy, like looking back on it. And it said, Tana, if you do that one more time, you'll never know what's real and what's not real. And I think that was the thing that scared me the most was that it would be like that forever. And so I didn't know I was going to talk about this today, but here we go. I drove to my parents' house. It was early morning and I climbed into bed with them and I said, my drugs are A, B, and C. And I told them where they were. And I said, I know I have a problem and I was wondering if you could help me. And I went to rehab and I had one relapse, very short. I you know, if you guys have any history with this and you want me to tell more of my story, I will. But basically, July 7th will be 20 years clean and sober, completely off of everything. And I believe the reason why I was able to do that is because Spirit gave me a calling along with my gift. And even though my business has nothing to do with drug and alcohol rehabilitation, having a cause that I tie my business to, where people that need my help will not ever come into my products and services, by being resourced and figuring out how to make money as a spiritual entrepreneur, I am able to resource and save lives of people like me that I believe should get as many chances as it takes, no throwaways. I believe, and a lot of people don't have a heart for that because they think makes you weak or whatever, and that's okay. Like everyone just knows what they know. But for me, like, it makes everything full circle. There are drug addicts in the world that need help that would never want a psychic reading or build a psychic business. That's not gonna reach them. But my money resources will. So when I build philanthropic aspects into my business, and who did I say this to the other day? Which one of you did I say this to the other day? I said, a fancy handbag can save a life. Do you remember when I said that? And the reason, yep, Jan, the reason I said that is because if the fancy handbag makes me show up as a leader differently and my offers and services are out into the world and helping more people, and it's an energetic exchange and I get some cash in hand, and I have a structure of philanthropic effort in my, even if it's a little at a time, you know, if I have a structure, and I'll share with you guys mine, then it can save lives, right? Having rehabilitation access, I was lucky. I had parents that took a second mortgage on a house to get me access. But what about people who don't have parents like me? Like where would they go? You know? And this drives me just as much as wanting to see you guys win. They're the two loves of my life and business. Seeing you guys win and helping those lost souls, and any causes that you choose, whether it's animals or sex trafficking or anything that you are going to be inspired to think about today. You know, food. I know Tony Robbins is a big, he provides meals because when he was younger, they didn't have any food, right? I believe that our lives and our trials and our callings and our ability to be light workers and our ability to make a decision to become a resourced one all comes together in a way where we're the perfect, I almost want to say savior, but I don't want to use that word if you like, it triggers you a certain way, but like it makes us capable of doing what only we could do. You know, there's a way that only we could do it. And so that's what today is about. Okay. So I want to start by showing you, I created a 3-hour movie, which is like a tour through the 5 playgrounds. And when you join the Rich Intuition Society, you get access to that movie. And it's sort of your onboarding, if you will. And we did kind of a tour of the 5 things here, but we did it a little slower and we did it more in a presentation style. That one is more of like an interactive movie where you're watching and participating or whatever. And so there's a section of it that ties it up at the end where I share about philanthropic effort. And so what I want to do is share this video with you guys, just so you can watch the way I've incorporated a brand story into not everything. Like if you go to my Instagram, you go to my website, it's not big like charity, charity, charity. I'll have some, I have a document for you. Actually, let me drop the document now. Let me do that real quick. The document I have for you is something I just want you to look over and be inspired by. It is a document called Philanthropic Business Models. And I just wanted to share with you guys a couple of these. I'll take just a moment to review it with you guys too, but here's the link in the chat. And let me just share the document on my screen here. And so Tom's Shoes, we talked about that one. For every pair of shoes purchased, they donate a pair to a child in need. Some of these I haven't heard of as much, but Warby Parker, buy a pair, give a pair. For every pair of glasses sold, they distribute another one to someone in need. Bombas, one purchase, one donated. For every clothing item purchased, they donate a specially designed version to someone experiencing homelessness. Soapbox is buy one, give one. For every product sold, Soapbox donates a bar of soap to someone in need. Better World Books for all you book lovers. Every book sold, they donate a book to someone in need, and the funds go to global literacy programs. Love Your Melon, 50% of the net profits go to pediatric cancer causes. Grounds and Hounds Coffee, that's cute. Coffee sales support dog and rescue initiatives in the US. Give State Bags Give Backpack program. For every bag purchased, they donate a full backpack to a child. Ivory Ella donates 10% of profits to Save the Elephants. Like, do you guys get it? Like, you could choose anything, whatever inspires you, you know? I'm going to talk to you in a minute about like maybe drawing from your experiences or your personal passions, but obviously whoever's in charge of Ivory Ella cares about the elephant. Like, that reminds me of my mom. She has a very spiritual connection to elephants, and there's a lot of things that need saving. So we're all going to have different charges, you know, we're all going to have different things. Here's a fashion one. So artisans with global markets offering fair wages. Okay. So I have here also at the end key takeaways outside of just the obvious ones. The buyers feel like they're co-creators of the impact that you're making. Can you guys feel in a moment here? I'll ask you in a moment. Never mind. Creating brand loyalty through purpose, you know, aligned values, and the luxury frequency meets legacy impact energy is like such a cool way to do this. So if it's all right with you guys, I'm going to bring you here. And actually, this is what I'm going to do first. I'm going to do the video first. And then I'll take you. I kind of went off track of like what I was planning on saying. So I told you my story. It got real vulnerable instead of the very, you know, outline I had. So let's do this real quick. I'm going to stop my share just to make sure I have the audio on. Yeah, I do. Okay. So let's watch this part of the video first, and then I'm going to take you on a journey through my movement, and then we'll talk about yours. Does that sound good, guys? Okay. Cool. Here we go. I cannot wait to introduce you in closing, since our time is coming near to its end, to playground number 5. I just realized, hold on, you guys. I just realized I shared the whole screen and that's distracting. So let me just do that. Okay. Sorry, guys. Here you go. This is, as a spiritual entrepreneur myself, this is where our major flex really happens. You see, living richly in our lives and in our businesses and our bank accounts, it's not just for our benefit. As we know, that transference of beautiful energy and transformation comes into working with our clients, and sometimes even our clients' clients, depending on what our work is about. But what if I were to tell you that the major flex is actually operating your life and business and bank account from a place of overflow, the kind of richness that means overflow. And who would benefit from that overflow is all of the global causes that create the kind of world you want to live in. So here in playground number 5, we lovingly call the Legacy Chamber. I would like to introduce you to how I actually incorporate philanthropy into the business model of my work, and how I invite my clients to learn how to do that as well. And whether you're considering at this point that you absolutely need more of this rich intuition stuff, and in this society is where we have space for you, by the way, whether or not you're going to be moving forward and working with me in the future, now or later, I want you to really think about what would be the legacy beyond my offers and services that I leave the world with as a result of me living richly in my spiritual entrepreneurship. So I have for you just a few little pieces to sort of get you chewing on the thought, what is my legacy and impact I want to leave into the world beyond the reach of my offers and services? You may have not been thinking about it until now, but it is absolutely part of being a light worker, and I believe will be your major flex as well. So please accept my heartfelt gratitude for being with me in this process. It all culminates into this moment, the impact we're making in the world. We've talked about impact in our own life. We've talked about impact through our clients' work. We've talked about impact coming from a place of abundant overflow in the cash vault. And now the end game is what we leave the world with. So in closing, I invite you to not only play with this concept some more, but rewatch this video over and over and over as many times as you would like. And if you want more where this came from, please do consider joining the Rich Intuition Society mentorship or mastermind. Both are available to you, and there's some information coming here at the end. If you have any questions, reach out, let me know. I'll leave you with the invitation to come play with us and a question about the legacy you want to lead. It's been my absolute honor and pleasure. Much love and light to each and every one of you. How did you come to know your mission as a light worker who's supposed to have a spiritual business? I've been thinking a lot about how I found mine in my really early 20s after getting clean and sober. I'm just now celebrating 19 years as of last week, clean and sober. And it was one of the hardest yet most rewarding journeys of my entire life. I believe my mission to start a spiritual and psychic business specifically saved me. After a near-death experience, I had an overdose. I heard the voice of my great-grandmother guiding me back to life. Her words literally were, "It's not your time, but things are going to be different now." And it really did. It marked the beginning of my transformation, not only getting clean and sober, but that allowed me to really kind of embrace my truer self and spirit. And this newfound clarity and purpose became the foundation of even what I'm doing today. I started my psychic reading business, my gift, what I believed was given to me to help others. And this realization gave me the strength to stay clean and sober and pursue my calling of having a spiritual psychic business with unwavering dedication. And it started with 0 clients. I built my business from the ground up, just like everyone else. And overcoming addiction, I think, just really taught me resilience and why it was so important, me being here and doing this. And almost 2 decades later as a career psychic, I've done well over 10,000 paid psychic reading sessions. And now, of course, my mission has expanded into mentoring spiritual entrepreneurs who want to align their calling with massive income and global impact. It really brought a sense of fulfillment as my journey continued and grew. And it helped me, it allowed me to see the bigger picture, right? The impact that I could make in the world. And I hope that every time I share my story, I hope to inspire other psychics and spiritual entrepreneurs to overcome the challenges of really staying the course and building their business. It's not just about the unique gifts, but the actual mission we have. And together, I believe we can create a positive ripple effect of change. And when you are a resourced business, cash money, you're able to give back. And my luxury brand and business right now focuses largely on giving back to a few causes that align with my values. And one of them, of course, is to provide drug rehabilitation services to addicts around the world. And there are others too. So I wanted to invite you, if you'd like, you can go right there in my Instagram on my link in bio, and you can choose the Make an Impact button and find a cause there that you're aligned with. And I will make a donation on your behalf to celebrate what we're doing in the world. And if you're new to me, welcome to my channel. I talk real sassy and spicy sometimes, but I also invite you to stay for the journey, the insights, the inspiration, and the strategies about elevating your psychic or spiritual business by transforming it into a financially resourced luxury brand that can help people not just buy our work, but it can give back to global causes because we can. And it helps us more powerfully create the kind of world we want to live in. So I hope it can transform lives and light up the world together. If you're in my space, welcome. Someone recently asked me, as a woman changing the world, what will my legacy be? Because you see, it's bigger than me and my clients. It's bigger than my clients and their clients. It's bigger than our global audiences. I broke down what I wanted to do in a lifetime into small, timely steps. And this will be my next short-term legacy. I'm ready to support 100 psychic CEOs to their first multi-six-figure years by the end of 2025. And in doing so, I will 100x the amount of light work my mission brings to the world through the ripple effect of my clients' clients. Then I'll double down providing multi-six-figure global charitable impacts, which will especially include providing drug rehabilitation access to homeless addicts around the world. The sky is not the limit. What's the legacy you want to leave? Let me unmute myself, sorry. And then it just plays this like little credit rolling thing that invites people to the society after watching that for 3 hours. But the reason I wanted to show you guys that is because both the live video that you saw me chatting about and the more produced video on the back end, those are like brand story scenarios. And many of you probably have never seen that. It's not like front and center in my business, but it's in there when you get in it, when you get into it, it's in there. And it's definitely happening behind the scenes too. So the thing I wanted to do right now is I wanted to, if you guys have your internet browsers up, I wanted to drop you guys a link to somewhere that will take you to basically being able to make a donation. And I want you to choose one and I will donate on your behalf because I want to show you how this works both on the back end of when people work with me in my business, but also like even when I do an event or something. So this is the page it takes you to. And we have a training on how to use this platform. It's a nonprofit platform that 100% of your donations go to the causes, and the causes are all regulated and vetted to be all like legitimate programs and stuff. It's a very, very cool platform. You can also build in automation so that if you receive a payment, it'll do it automatically. Or what I was doing for a long time is when my payments, when my clients would make a payment to me, I would go in and create something specifically for that payment that I received and kind of do it once a quarter or something like that. So these different impacts, the reason I say you can do this kind of at any starting level is this 1 day of rehab support. This is like a $4 impact. So it's a little bit more expensive than the others, but it's the one I care about. So there it is. The 1 night of shelter for homeless children. This one is actually only, I think, about 50 cents. Can you imagine that there are places in the world that for 50 cents a child can have shelter? Can we even like put that in our brain for a second? Makes me want to cry. Holy shit. Okay. Keep it together, Tana. I told you guys I was going to cry today because this has been a crying week. The other one, which is very important, I have a lot of friends that have suffered from, happens too often, sexual abuse. We hear of trafficking. We see those movies and stuff, right? And I forget how much this particular impact is out of my pocket. It's not as expensive as this one, but you can have certain impacts that you do that are, you can just choose. Like some of these impacts on the dollar are only, like they have impacts that are on the dollar only 5 cents, right? Or, just thinking that you could make a great number of impacts, even with very, very little when you find the right matches for your values. And so what I wanted to inspire you to do today is to see how this is working in my business. There's a website, I have a whole training series on this in my program, but if you don't get a chance to join the program, I encourage you to look at this. It's called B1G1, Business for Good. It stands for buy one, get one, was like the motto. And you can log in and create an account here. And there's some videos here about this. Basically, it helps people build philanthropic efforts into their businesses. Okay. So you can see the amount of impact that's going on, even our members have created. Yeah. So if we go into, I don't know if I think I closed the window of like going into my back end here. We don't really have time to like go over all the back end. I do that in my program, but I encourage you to take a look, and I hope you guys did choose an impact, any one of these that calls and speaks to you. And I hope you get like the idea of how you can incorporate even just a few cents on a dollar can create changes that make a massive ripple, right? And then I want to talk to you guys if you have any questions about like what kind of causes. That platform has so many causes and it just streamlines the whole process, but you can also choose things that are local for you. I've had the question before when people say, can I donate time instead of money? And you can, but here's the thing. When you donate time, you only have so much of it. To wrap it around in the way that I want to inspire you to wrap it around, which is living richly and earning richly and showing up as a rich leader, having a monetary contribution is scalable because all you have to do is scale your income, right? Then there's no cap like there is on your time. And so time is beautiful. It really is. But I'm talking kind of a little bit on a different subject matter when I bring this stuff up, right? Because I'm talking about like massive impact at scale because of your business being resourced. Okay. So I don't know if anybody is like inspired to ask any questions about this or how this works, but basically my brand story that I told you guys is something that not only connects us spiritually, like I believe we see each other's hearts here, but your people that come to you, if they're aware that there's about something bigger, it's a win-win for everybody. You get to drop richness into your heart and fuel the income potential of your business with this as a motivating driving force. People feel you and understand you more, and they also want to be part of your movement, right? They like to know, I do this, you do that. Like this, there's like no loss to doing this. And even if you don't feel like you can afford it, like I said, there's things that are pennies on the dollar that you can start out making impacts with that you have no idea how much those pennies actually create change for people in certain parts of the world, right? Like I said, 50 cents. Even if think about this, you guys, even if you sold a $500 reading and you made 1 50-cent impact, there's a kid that's not going to be on the street that night because you sold a reading. and you aligned it with that awareness subconsciously and in your heart. Okay, I'm going to stop crying. Does anybody have any questions about this? We are kind of wrapping up our day, and without going into a total tutorial on that platform, I want to talk about this more conceptually. I'm going to stop my spotlight so I can see all your faces. I want to know if there's like any causes on your heart, and if you have any questions about like what you would do with it or how you could use your brand story as a way to like be vocal about the things you care about and have people that are aware of your brand, like aware of how to use this, like in your products and services, right? So I didn't have a plan beyond this. I just kind of wanted to inspire you and show you how I do it and answer any questions you have, because this is the thing that when we remove it from us and even our clients, it still matters, right? Like it's beyond our business. So any questions or anything to share? If not, we could also just jump into some Q&A with the rest of our time on anything that went on this week. But let's start with the philanthropic effort first, or any inspiration you have. I'd love to hear causes that you think would be inspired from something you care about. Go ahead and just unmute if you have anything.
I think I really care about environmental stuff.
Yeah.
I think where I'm torn is I care about a lot of things, and it's like which one would make most sense to promote. Because there's ones that are associated with like my story of how I became spiritual, but then there's others that are like I'm a very political person, but that's not
Mhm.
really part of my spirituality, or the start of it, I guess. But
Yeah. Well, with that platform, that you can choose, there's like hundreds of ones. You just type in words like environmental, and it'll take you all to all the environmentals, and you can choose multiples. I'd like to streamline, because sometimes they'll have like a bunch of environmentals, but there'll be ones that are at 50 cents, ones that are at 20 cents, ones that are at $5. So you can choose the ones. It's just a combination of what you can do, what you feel drawn to do, and the causes and the programs. And that platform is so cool. They do with these causes, they do these like documentary videos of like what's new, and they send that you have an account. And so anything you've ever donated to, they give you these updates of these programs. Like I just saw an update the other day that they graduated 300 clean and sober for 6 months people from the rehab program into the working program in Africa. And so they had a picture of the class that had reached their 6 months, and they had certificates, and they were going to be moving into the working program. And there was like 300 of them. And that's the program, one of the programs I donate to. So, I don't really put that stuff on my website necessarily, but like you could, because they make all these little widgets and things, and you would probably just have so much fun. It's, by the way, I think it's just B1G1 is the website. You guys could get it from the other link. It's just whatever's at the front of that. But uh, you might even just go like search, create a free account, and just search under environmental and see if that platform gives you something to be inspired about, because it's very streamlined. So, yeah, thank you. Liliana?
Well, I have two things I believe I would support, and I've dreamt about supporting when my business was financially supportive for a big impact to make out in the world. I had, and this is kind of really aligned with my story. First of all, is caregiver support.
Mm,
I've been a caregiver for many years, and recently what I found is like a lot of caregivers get underpaid. They don't have enough resources for themselves and their clients. They experience burnout and a lot of just overall support for the caregiver and the client.
yeah,
And it's both physically and emotionally draining work.
yeah,
And some of us don't have a choice to being the caregiver. I mean, there's some, where they fall into it automatically, maybe with a company, but sometimes it's with family members.
yeah,
And it's it's an ongoing process, and the government is definitely letting like in-home services drop where it's not being provided. The process is long. And anyway, I can go on and on about it, but I know from myself, if I could support a caregiver by having them have more resources to either talking to someone who may understand, or even just a day off or a vacation, that'd be something I would love to provide somehow.
yeah,
And then my second cause would be for single mothers. There's not a lot of single mother support out there. We're trying to keep food and trying to keep food on the table, trying to keep living expenses going. And then most of this is a story that we all hear of a single mother working two full-time jobs and not being able to be there for their kid,
yeah,
and so forth and so forth, and having um, a lot of like emotional draining where they don't feel like they're living up to being the best mom they can be, but they really are. And I would
yeah,
love to be able to provide something for those single moms. That way they can really have a good break and see a shift in their life. So
One of
those
the
would be the two.
causes, yeah, one of the causes I found really interesting that I've donated to in the past, and there's a version of it in B1G1 too, is women around the world who are single mothers, and you sort of supply them with a mini microloan, like it goes towards microloans for women to be able to start their own business so that they can not just be handed the support, but it's like teaching them how to fish. And so now they have a full business that can support them. And then there's also parts of those programs that now in some countries, if the mother can't make as much money and the family needs to survive, the 7-year-old little boy has to work too, right? So what happens is these loans for the women help get them established as a female business and an entrepreneur. And then what happens is the kids can go to school. So there are, I mean, I one time I do want to address this. One time I shared about the causes that I was currently supporting. It was some years back. I got ripped on YouTube because everyone was like, why aren't you supporting things in the US? Because the programs I happen to choose were around the world. And I was like, I don't know. I didn't see it as any different. A person's a person, you know, for me. Like it didn't even occur to me. And I know that there's an argument to that. And I respect that. I do, because I believe we're just all called differently on purpose so that there's someone for everything. And so some of these programs that would be single mothers might be in the US, but some of them, like I described, have other nuances to it even still. And sometimes the children are part of the program, even though it's the support for the mother. And like I said, in this example I used, it's not just support for the single mother, but it's actually like a helping them start a business. So now we're talking about female entrepreneurship, and we're talking about a kid going to school. I'm not saying it's better than some US program. I'm just saying there's so many beautiful opportunities to align with the things you care about and create impact, no matter which thing you're drawn to or when or how, or even shifting from time to time from one thing to another. I had a program where I was supporting sex trafficked girls for a little while. And one of the things I saw first was giving them meals. Like when they get rescued, they need clothes and food. And so I did that. But then I started realizing that there was another program that actually got them kilometers closer because it funded the program that would get in there and get them out. And I just felt the moment, not like I needed to pull support here and go over here, but I felt the call that that's where I was needed. So I shifted from originally being connected to the food, and who knows why. Spirit tells us what, we know how this works. So you can also shift even within the same intentions and causes with certain platforms, or, permission to let spirit guide you, because there's a whole big picture that our perceptions can't see. And I believe one day when we get to the other side of the veil, we're going to be able to see it, and we're just going to be brought to our knees, And so, anyway, I'm not crying anymore today. So, thanks, Liliana. Jan, what did you want to share?
Do you know what organization it is that does the thing for small business loans for women around the
There's
world?
a bunch of them inside of the
Okay.
B1G1 umbrella.
Yeah.
I
Oh, okay.
also did one. The only reason why I didn't go back and do this one is because B1G1 is so reputable long term, and they had it's like a hub. It's
Mhm.
more, but I did do one called I think it was called Me to We for a minute, but they got
Mhm.
scrutinized a little bit by like a mistake that they made or something. But
Oh.
in the past, I had done this thing where I did this thing one Christmas where 50%, I was feeling very called. I had just gone to my first personal development conference, and Brendan Burchard was like, "What's a change you want to make in the world?" I'm like, "I'm going to give 50% of my reading money to so I did
Wow.
this where my readings were $100 that year,
Mhm.
$100 for an hour. And I took $50 and I went to Meet-A-Wee, and they had this thing where you could buy these little bracelets with beads that the mamas in Africa would make.
Yeah.
And either go to the female entrepreneurship to help the women have all the beads in the business, or they would go to water or sanitation or food or school, like this kind of stuff. And they had all these different bracelets with different colors. They're like, what did they call them? They called them God, now I forget what they called them. But you actually, when you paid the $10 and donated it, you'd get this little bracelet that you could wrap around as a bracelet, or you could wear it as like a necklace with
Mhm.
beads, and that's the
Cool.
business. The mamas would make those bracelets, and then the $10 would go towards the whatever. And so I literally had, I can't remember how many readings I did, but I literally put in like orders for each and every one of the bracelets. And every time somebody bought a reading from me, I bought 5 of them for them, and I shipped them to
Wow.
I shipped them to my client's house. But here was the problem. After Christmas, guess who didn't have any money?
Yeah.
So that's when I started learning. It broke my heart that I couldn't sustain it. And the reason I couldn't sustain it is because I wasn't running the business
Mm-hmm.
that could hold it. My heart held it, but my business couldn't. And I had to take a step back. So when I started doing it again, I was doing it from a place of my business being more resourced, and it locked in, right? So
Mhm.
that's why I say, like, if you're not if you're not getting rich for you, do it. I mean, this would even be a good enough reason, but you don't have to choose one reason. It's holistic, right? So yeah, but B1G1, I would go like start a free account, you guys, and just go look in there and see if it's for you. And if it is, you know, I have training on this if you're working with me. If not, you could probably figure out some stuff. And then if that doesn't inspire you, then go find your inspiration elsewhere. But yeah, I mean, there are some incredible programs that do such, Jan. Yeah.
So I was going to share that a friend of mine is one of the founders and runs a company called, well, an organization, nonprofit called So Hope, SOW Hope, and they're worldwide. And they
Yeah.
do the small business loans. And that's what I thought you were talking about, because she's like the vice president or the
Yeah,
founder,
that
I don't
would
know,
be
something big in it. And it's not a lot of money going to work to people like a foundation or anything. It's all going back to the women. So
yeah.
to help the women.
The way B1G1 works is I pay $38 a month as a flat fee to be part of B1G1, and then 100% of my donations don't even go to them. It goes right to the causes.
That's cool. That's probably like this, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure they're not the only institution for these things, but yeah, you can find ways to easily build this in. And what I like about B1G1, which probably your friend's place has too, is there are same causes with different kinds of contributions, so that if you really only feel your business can support a few cents on the dollar, you can build that in. And then as you're creating, it's like every impact is not $1, it's 2 cents. So now you're up to 800 impacts, and you could do that, right? So it's just this beautiful, beautiful thing.
That's really cool. So
Yeah.
I was going to share mine is, do you have time for mine?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have lost some people really dear to me from drugs. So I appreciate you sharing that, because I had a nephew that lived with me that actually passed away from drugs, not when he was living with me, but and broke my heart. And I've had a lot of other people in my family, cousins, kids. But the thing that really speaks to me, especially right now, I'm gonna start being a life coach. Well, I am a life coach, and there's so much suicide that is like channeled to me. Like I'll clients that have kids that have that's what's getting me to get out there and do it, because I keep getting this message. You could have saved that person. You could have helped that person. Not like a guilt thing,
No.
but a push to get out there. Like they're mostly like teenagers, like 20 years old, 25, 20. And it just seems like almost every day there's another one that I hear about. It's probably because my focus is there right now, or because the universe is putting that focus on my heart. So So that's why I want to start like getting a message out there of hope and of how you can create miracles in your own life, and just through spreading that kind of, you know, like speaking it out and being there. So
Yeah.
anyway, that's mine. That's
There's
what's getting
something,
me to do it.
there's even, I mean, I'm just seeing a vision of like, even on your automations after someone books, you can just say, by the way, you know, my business supports this cause. If you know anybody struggling, here's a resource. Like even
Oh,
before,
that's a great idea.
even, like think about it, you guys, like, what's your legacy?
That's a great idea. I was thinking about putting it even in the introduction about it,
Well,
that
that's the
that's what
point.
has prompted me to
Yeah.
do this.
And then those of you who are going to be joining the Rich Intuition Society or who otherwise just buy a ticket, the Authority Retreat, some of you guys have been to the Authority Retreats. One of the videos that we can make there is what's called a brand story. And you could do brand story just on your history, but you could also do one kind of similar to what you saw me do, where it's you talking about how your business supports the cause. That's another way to do a brand story. And we're going to have I haven't talked about it much, but the Authority Retreat is in Orlando. We go to a photography studio. We do all sorts of B-roll. We do like video podcasting. We do photo photography. We do all this like brand stuff. And we're going to have a chance for you in a studio with a professional, whatever, get a couple different videos. One's going to be like a pseudo podcast. And another one's going to be a brand story or a sales video or whatever. You can kind of use your sit time however you want, however you want to do it. And this is one of the options, is to create a narrative about what your business is, who you are, and then drop, your movement, and, have that front and center, and let people understand that they're part of something bigger. And it's not that you're doing that so that they'll respond to you. You do it because it helps them know you. And when they know you, they will know if they're supposed to, they'll know if, right? So yeah, there's just no downside to it. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. Anybody else feel inspired to share on this? You're more than welcome to. Okay. Does anybody have, as we're closing up and wrapping up, I'm going to drop a couple of links. The first one is Jen is still available for brand audits or bottleneck breakthroughs. That is the book a call link. You can still do that. We're offering, so I was looking at the Rich Intuition Society founding, what I call it, the founders prices. Um, it really is just clean for me if the prices change on the first. So what that means is I said sometime next week, because the first is Tuesday. If you have any interest, I would get in contact with us very specifically by Monday. You can shoot me a DM or like get in my personal number space inbox, whatever you need to do if you have any questions or you want to know if it's for you or what have you. The other link I want to leave is if the Rich Intuition Society is okay, but you kind of wanted to start with that market research. It's a little more expensive than even just one payment of the like I said, I mean, it's more cost effective on the initial payment to enter the society if you were going to at the founder's price. But here's the market research session VIP link. It's not on my website, so you need that link. Okay. Did you guys all make a donation to the link at the B1G one? Did you guys do that already? Okay. What else do I have? I think those are the only links I wanted to pop in. And then I put the engagement and I put the link to just the other like businesses that I wanted to show you in case you're inspired by that. And okay, so that's all the house cleaning we need to do. So does anybody have any questions about anything we went over this week at all? We'll do just a few minutes of a hot seat in case anybody needs anything to feel complete. I'll check with that first. Anybody? I know we kind of checked in before the session too. Okay, cool. All right, good. So, hey, 111. That is pretty complete. I feel good about that. Well, again, like I said, it's been an honor and a privilege. I would love to work with you guys. So if it's for you, then just get in with me for a chit chat. Otherwise, take all the things you learned, especially the ones when you're in the most peak state, and make sure you've got them, your thoughts and your feelings journaled out or written down. Yes to Post-its. Post-its are good systems too. Remember whatever came to you, because I think sometimes we get more information than we implement. That's kind of common. So make sure if you haven't already. Yeah, Linz.
Sorry, I was thinking of how I can even ask this question.
Okay.
But I was really interested in your tarot, not your tarot deck, but your intuition deck. And you had mentioned the other day that you teach that within the Rich Intuition
Yeah, so
Society. Is
in
that right?
the Rich Intuition Society, we've got we do brand stuff, and this philanthropic stuff is under the brand stuff. So there's like 4 or 5 different training series of like 4 videos each that is all about like having a brand, all the branding stuff, the multi 6-figure shift, Lauren. Remember that video series? We put that it was we had it free. We put it in the brand section. So anything that's really like big picture brand, that thing we did on day 2, that's available for you in there. So that's all brand. And then the second one we have is offers, which is really about implementing the market research report to match your offer with your audience and understanding who that is. The third part is what I call the high conversion funnels. And there are 3 things I teach in there. Number 1, not everybody is going to still want to do services after I get my hands on you. But if you want to still do services, it's a rite of passage, and it absolutely where some of the work, rubber meets the road. And so I've got a funnel in there that basically turns your leads into first-time clients for service-based stuff. And then I've got a funnel that is product-based, which basically is designed for things like digital downloads, physical products, and even online courses, things like this. And in that, there's a bonus thing that says, if you want to make one of your products a digital or a physical deck, it's part of that series. It's part of the series where I teach you the product funnel, which is kind of a way to not sell a service, but have a lower entry point than your high ticket coaching, right? Where you do all your work. So, like if you guys actually, let me give you a website. This is my funnel. What is it? Oh, it's free Oracle deck, free Oracle deck.com. So I actually own freeoracledeck.com. I was actually thinking about taking down my own eventually. This is like a year-long plan I have, is taking down my own funnel and actually putting all my clients' funnels on that website. So if you go to freeoracledeck.com, you can shop all the free Oracle decks from people in my world that are doing digital or free decks as their front of funnel. And then what happens is you make money on the upsells. So the idea is the free Oracle deck, you just pay shipping, or you pay for like if it's a digital deck, because you don't want to like invest just a little bit to get them printed. You can do a digital deck and do like a $5 something for like the course. Like, so you could do $5, $7, you could do a little tickets thing, right? And then even if you pay for ads, it's a wash on that first one. But then you put your online course and you're this on like the second page and the third page that unlocks when they buy the Oracle deck. And then you make money on that product funnel without having to do services. This is more passive and scalable. We talked about scalable, Lauren. So yeah, so let me show you that, by the way. And this is what I teach you how to build. So I've got this, and this exact page is something I can give you guys. Like, you just make it your own. So as you see, it's like free Oracle deck, just pay shipping. And it's got all of this we make all of that. We do your copy. And then there's Jen and Katie and Ella. And then when you click the button, whoop, is it up? Did I have one of those buttons isn't connected? I gotta fix that. Anyway, so let's just say this is my information. Okay, it goes to step 2. Oh, I need a country, United States. Okay, go to step 2. And then what it does is this is a ClickFunnels page. It has put in your card number, right? And then it's got even, I have here with the physical deck, a one-time special offer that's $7 where you get the digital decks as well. So if you click that, then it changes the fee to $6.95 plus 7. So I've already made $7 on a product that doesn't cost anything just because this $6.95 washes the deck. And then let me show you real quick. Oracle deck, Oracle deck funnel. I'm going to show you the other pages real quick. I just have to get the links. Hold on. Oracle deck. What's going on? Quick notes. Shared. Sorry, guys. Hold on one sec. Oracle deck. Oracle card. Oracle deck funnel. All right, whatever. Let me just buy one. I wish I could just show you. Guys, put me on the spot here. Hold on. Oh, you know, I had it in my messages with John. So anyways, when you go to my Oracle deck funnel, it's going to take you to, let me just buy one. I think that was the quickest thing that I needed to do. Hold on, let me just buy one. That's not the card I want to use though. Okay, and I don't need that because I'm just paying myself. So when you complete the order, it submits it and it goes automatically to my publisher to fulfill. And then there's this next item that is the income challenge and audio course. So what we do is we create this second upsell to be something that complements the first thing. So what I have here is a 44-day, there's 44 cards in the deck. And again, we customize these offers for you and your brand and what makes sense for your person and what makes sense for your Oracle deck and what makes it, we do all of this strategically. But for me, people care about rich intuition. So this is a money subject and they care about the cards because they just bought the cards. So it's designed for the cards. And I also wanted to do something that was an audio because at the time I didn't feel like making any videos and I needed a product quick. So I made this 5-hour audio podcast that basically has episodes from 1 to 44 that has all these like cool 5-minute like activation things, right? And there's actually this is in the Rich Intuition Society too. You can get that. So I'm selling this one for 22 or 44 I could have done as well. And people can either one click add it or they can say no. And if they say no, it goes to one more thing, which is this is the money work. Remember when I said there was a namesake course called Rich Intuition that got rid of all your money crap, like your old beliefs and your stuck energy around charging more? This is that upsell here. So I've got a section here with all the different videos. I've got these cute little like, hey, that's what it looks like inside, right? And then if they want it or not, either way, they can add it and then it goes thank you. And then it goes here to, this is how we take the product funnel to the high ticket funnel. We create a webinar or a series of free training that we offer people who bought our Oracle deck. And really this lines them up to understand if they are the person that wants, because they're curious, ready, and they desire the transformation of your high ticket program. So this begins a whole series of things that happen once they now have their deck. And I don't want to make things too complicated or make your brain explode, but basically if they leave that first thing behind, that first upsell, I give you a whole structure where all you have to do is make little tweaks and it sends people an email that says, hey, you left this behind. Are you still interested in this? It perfectly complements here. Here's a little bit more about the product if you have any questions. And then people sometimes just need to sleep on it. And if they see 2 emails over a week reminding them that they left that thing, sometimes they're like, yeah, and they'll go purchase it. And it's one click. They don't have to add their credit card again. And then if they left the second thing along, it'll say, hey, the second thing, whatever. So it's not like annoying. You don't have to send something every day, but every 4 or 5 days, it might say, hey, you left this thing behind, just a couple of times. And then after that, it'll say, hey, your free training, did you get any takeaways from that? Or it'll engage you about the free training, and the free training is what converts the people from products that have already been customers of yours, that have put their money where their mouth is to work with you digitally, right? Or with your physical product. It brings them into the world where now they're understanding what your high ticket process is that you work in your program. So the service based kind of leans into the work you're already doing. The product based is the thing that sort of opens the door to the high ticket coaching. And then the high ticket coaching is just where you created that offer that was like that big picture that you saw yourself leading in day 2. So I know that we scratch the surface of things, but when we have a year to work together, we build all of this out very easily. And then I hold your hand in making the money and crossing the threshold over what I'm intending to do is get you to multi 6 figures with this model, because that's what it's capable of doing. So that was a long answer and a demonstration, but does that answer your question about kind of the way it looks and what I'm teaching in there?
I'm so glad that, yeah, you went into everything that you did, because that, like I said, I didn't know how to ask my question. So thank you.
Yeah, yeah. And so the way I teach Oracle decks a couple of different ways, there are different decisions that you can make. But for me, like one of the most important things is I don't want to touch the order. I don't want to put it in the mail. I don't want to do any of that. So I use a publisher that does all the drop shipping, and everything happens automatically. So once I build it, I leave it alone, and the automations that happen that have the journey that people are on sort of happen without me needing to do anything. And then they just come to me when they schedule a call about the high ticket program. And then I simply hop on with them and ask, like, what are your questions? Like, what do you want to focus on? And then I show them where in the program we do that. And then if it's for them, it's for them, So I don't really believe very much in like sales tactics as much as I believe in giving people the opportunity to understand what you're about and work with you at different financial levels. And I believe in follow up, and I believe in not ghosting people, but I don't really believe in hard sells, just opportunities. Like if you've ever had a sales call with me or whatever, like when you would like technically call it like that's the sales call step, I literally just ask like what you're working on and help you. And then I say, do you want more help with that after this call? And if you do, you do. And then it's faster and easier, and you can use all my products, you can use all my funnels, you can use all my templates, you can use all my, you can do done for you, whatever, depending on what you're in. But yeah, like I don't really do where like you get on a call and you like ask a bunch of questions to try to set them up to say yes a bunch of times. And then you ask them a question that you need them to say yes to. I mean, I don't really think it doesn't make sense for light workers as much, because really what we do, people are educated to make their own decision. Like I just want to make them inspired to tune in. That's kind of my whole thing. So, but that also needs a little consistency, and that doesn't mean I have to work on it every day because the automations do all of it. So, yeah. Okay. Lauren, did you have any other questions?
Yes, 2. Hopefully they're quick. But
Yeah, no worries.
so making my own Oracle deck is like bottom of my list, but it's interesting to me. Is that something you would help people with, as well as just like dealing with publishers, figuring out that whole process, I
All of
assume?
it.
Okay.
In the mentorship, it's very done for you if you
Mhm.
wish. Like we could either spend our time talking about your problems or like actually done for you doing stuff. So
Yeah.
the mastermind has the trainings for it, but like literally if you were like, I don't want to design it, I want this to be quick, easy,
Mhm.
like could we just, you're going to see me 2 to 3 times a week already on one-on-ones, and you're going to see me in the group calls too. So all of that time can be used actually making and building this out. So the mentorship is, like I said, it's the same benefits, except for the fact that the mentorship allows a lot of room for done for you.
Mhm.
I also had an agency offer at one moment, which was like complete, it was like a 50K offer. And it was all where you just met like once a week for a half hour and then we did everything. But I restructured it to be only the 10K at the founder's rate for what is going to not just be, oh, it's kind of a pseudo group, you're brought along, you're on the team. It's not exactly like point and we do it. We do it together, but I felt that that was where I was called to serve people right now. And it's a big different price on the mentorship for a year than the agency for a year was $50K to start. So it's actually really quite accommodating,
Yeah.
considering that the done for you is so integrated, versus like an agency offer. Sonia's not here right now, but Sonia said if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to her because she's in the mentorship and we do a lot of done for her stuff right now. So she said if you guys have any questions, you can reach out to her and she'll let you know her experience or whatever. But I actually would consider sooner than later, Lauren, for your brand. I would
Yeah.
I
I
would
mean,
put
you've sold me. I'm pretty much
I,
here.
I would
I
put
just
that
need to get the husband's approval right now.
I would put that Oracle deck a little
Yeah.
higher on your list is just what I was gonna say. Like,
Oh, I see. I see. Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're building your brand out to have a bit of celebrity, and having your own Oracle deck is not only a good product funnel idea for your high ticket program, but it builds a lot of authority.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what I believe I believe that having your own Oracle deck for your brand is one of the quickest ways to build brand authority, customer loyalty, actual monetary sales, and get people into your high ticket program. So I'm a full-blown fan. I've done this funnel with a number of different decks, and I've always got one going because, like I said, the other benefit is, remember I said the other day that if you ever do run ads, and like I said, the cost of the shipping and the cost of the deck and everything, it's a wash, right? So if you do ads and you pay a couple bucks and then you've got a couple bucks for the deck to get out to them, it's a wash when they pay that $6.95 or whatever. So what happens is when you have an ad or something like that for cold traffic that doesn't know who you are already, they don't have to buy into you over Sam, Harry, or Sally, right?
Yeah.
They already love Oracle decks. And if they like the subject of your Oracle deck, they don't have to know you yet, which is actually really captivating. But through the upsells and through the automations, they get to know you, not just your product. And it's just it's so sexy. It gets great results. And it's really aligned with our industry and what we do. And also people that are in my space like to build authority. And it's like crazy good for that too. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, I've had one in the back of my head for years, but I never knew how to actually like make it. And I'm somewhat Photoshop adept, but not that good. But my second quick question, hopefully, the group when we meet over a year, is it fairly guided every time? Are you leading
So
us through stuff, or it's more open?
It's more of a Q&A. So
Okay.
It's like an office hour. So I hop on and I say, because people might cherry pick through things and be at different stages. So it's just a time
Okay.
for you to come and get access to me so that when I do the 4 1-hour sessions a month, it's all about you. So it's all about what you bring me. It's all about what anyone's bringing me. It's not trainings. The trainings are in the portal. And I might host separately a live training that you can come to. That's like a different thing, kind of like I'm doing this. You guys could come. Like Sonia's in my program and she came. You know, there's a couple people also that were here. I can't see them here right now, but like they came. But the Q&As are just like, what are you working on? What's your question? Or like, what do you need tweaked or what do you need designed or
Yeah.
something like that? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, yeah, you're welcome. All right. Are we feeling good? Is there anything else? We went over so much. We moved so much damn energy. Pat yourself on the back. You did so good. Also, if you didn't have an Oracle deck in mind, but you had a book, Liliana, we published a book for her. Maybe, do you have the link to it? I don't want to rush you, but we did for her a 52-week Oracle. Here, let me just pull it up.
It's on my website. I think the link is. I can put that in the. Sorry about the beeper.
That's okay. So like when it comes to physical products, oh, look, here it is right there. Oh, really? Right there on search. So
That's cool.
I designed this book for Liliana. I designed it and then I forget if you published it or I published it. I can't forget you published it. So I was the illustrator. We had someone look over it. But yeah, so we did, is there samples in here? Can't
I don't
remember.
think there are. Maybe there
Yeah, so there are some. So we did an affirmation spread. We like created a spread and then card pull notes. So it's like a little book that has all these different spreads in it. And so I literally designed that entire book for Liliana. And what she did is she wrote things with pencil on a piece of lined paper and showed me the shape. And then she sent me images from her phone that she took of those pieces of paper. And I designed the book and we published it. So like if I'm just saying, like if a book is more appealing to you, you don't even have to do a physical product either. But physical products have a certain allure because people have gone so far away from them that Oracle decks and some books are very powerful too. And she's got it on Amazon, but if we put it in her funnel, it would sell from the funnel. So yeah. Okay. All right, you guys, pat yourself on the back. Go ahead and unmute and say goodbye to everybody. Blow your kisses. We'll leave it here.
Thank you so
Bye,
much for
everyone.
this. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tana.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tana.
Thank you.
Thank
Welcome. I
you.
love
Thank
you
you,
guys
everybody,
so
for
much.
sharing.
You're welcome. Get out there and kill it, okay? Let me know how I can
Yeah.
help. And you guys just take this inspiration from this week and just get that momentum, okay?
Spread the love.
Spread the love. Thanks, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Job.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
See you soon.